Matt Garman, appreciate you being here. With Ryan Day seemingly giving up play calling duties, who do you think takes over? All signs point to someone on staff already, but would you advise giving someone the keys with no prior experience?
I don't know if it's a case of guys not having prior experience. These guys have been on the offensive channel all along. It's not like they were plucked out of the stands or whatever and suddenly given a headset and said, "Now go." There's a lot of belief that this could be kind of a Justin Fry / Brian Hartline operation. Justin Fry has had experience through his career being on the offensive channel at UCLA and certainly now at Ohio State. Brian Hartline is still relatively young in the coaching profession, even though we look at his career and it's like, wow, he's been here several years now. But it's not like Ryan Day is suddenly going to be off headsets. It's not like he's going to wander around and be, you know, who was it? I mean, a lot of coaches have been famous for just kind of wandering around and counting blades of grass. And that's not what Ryan Day is going to be doing at this point. I know a lot of people love the idea of going out of house and bringing in some hot shot. I don't know if Lincoln Riley is necessarily the right words to use right now based on how things have been going for him in terms of postseason, but bring in some hot shot, which isn't necessarily going to work. You need to sit there and have somebody who buys into the Ryan Day system. This is going to be the Ryan Day system. It's just going to be somebody else who's going to be largely in charge of calling the plays. I understand the concern that the poster had about bringing in somebody who hasn't necessarily done it under pressure circumstances. And at Ohio State, you're constantly under pressure circumstances. Even when you're up 70-0, it's pressure because you're going to get second guessed about why you weren't allowing the third teamers to do what they need to do out there instead of running student body left, student body right. So I think it's going to be some sort of situation where it's going to be Fry and Hartline doing this. And the good news is you're going to have a couple of weeks before you go to Notre Dame in the season to kind of get some of the kinks out. So the schedule for everything that we're going to talk about, how bad the schedule is for Ohio State next season, it's good in terms of week 1 and week 2. They're not necessarily playing their toughest games, and you have some chances to work out some of the schematic issues.
Yeah, I can't get a firm read right now on where this is headed or if he was really serious when he mentioned that to Kirk Herbstreit. And it seems weird to me that it would happen with Kevin Wilson leaving. I would think that he would trust somebody, a veteran coach like Kevin Wilson, to do it. And he did it with Wilson on staff. Maybe it's a case where Fry and Hartline are very similar in age. And Hartline to me is a very intelligent guy, a very hardworking guy. I mean, he, there's a lot of great things you can say about him. I don't think he's a guy, I think he's a smart enough guy to know what he can and can't do. And I would be like very surprised if it was turned over to Brian Hartline, kind of sight unseen. I would think that he would certainly relish being maybe named as a co-coordinator along with Fry being the guy who initiates the calls and with some input from Hartline and Day and Tony Alford and whoever. But and now Keenan Bailey is going to be the tight ends coach. So if you put a gun to my head and said, "How do you think this is going to go?" I would think that Fry and Hartline will be co-coordinators. Fry will initiate the calls, and there'll be input from everybody. And Day, in a certain situation, will strictly say, "Look, this is what I want to do here. This is what they can't defend, and this is what we have to do." And they'll go from there. Or it's 4 minutes to go in the game. I want Mine Williams left, Mine Williams right. Run the clock. Let's get out of here. Could be like that. So that would be what I would see. I mean, by elevating Keenan Bailey, they do not have a spot on the current coaching staff unless they're enlarging the coaching staff beyond 10 full-time guys for next year. As of right now, there's no space, there's no spot open to bring a guru, as our friend Tim May would say, onto the staff, a wizard to be the play calling genius. So seems to me he's looking in staff, and for him to have said that before the game to Kirk Herbstreit in one of their sit downs, just tells me that he's already got the idea of what he wants to do in place. So I don't know. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.